Hey everyone and welcome back. Today we'll be talking about blood types. As an example for genetics, we can have this also in basic human physiology. We can have this as a histology lesson because blood is a type of connective tissue and it's also a very important topic to know. In biology, if you're studying biology or even for basic knowledge, this is a very important topic that everyone needs to know. So what is this about? Blood types. The most important thing about blood types that anyone needs to know is that this is very important for blood donation. Blood donation. And why is that? You know, when blood donation starts to take place systematically at hospitals, a lot of fatalities appeared and people did not know why that happened. And all of this is because of this different blood types. So let's see what this is all about. We have four main blood types that we know, which are A, B, AB, and O. And why is that? Basically, we have our red blood cells. The red blood cells are found inside the blood, and they run through the bloodstream on the fluid part of the blood, which is called the plasma. Now, those different letters, these are the names of antigens that are present on the surface of the red blood cells. Now, what are antigens? Antigens are those proteins that are expressed on the surface of the cells inside the human body. This regardless of any cell can present antigens, and those antigens, they attract antibodies. So, for example, if a foreign body or a foreign cell enters your body and it presents an antigen, what your body does is that it synthesizes antibodies, or if it already has antibodies against that cell, those antibodies go to that antigen and they attach to it, and therefore they initiate an immune response to kill that cell per se. So the antigens that are present on each of those red blood cells correspond to the name of the blood type. So the blood type A, on the red blood cells, we have antigen A. On the B blood type, we've got antigen B. So here we have antigen B on those red blood cells. In AB blood type, we've got both antigens. So we got some of antigen B here, some of antigen A, like that. And then we have type O, which looks exactly like the letter O because the red blood cell is free. It doesn't have none of those antigens, neither A nor B. So we'll say it looks like this. There are some other antigens that might be on the red blood cells, but this is none of our concern in this topic right now. So these are the antigens. Now, in each of those types, the plasma would have, for example, we'll start with A. The plasma would have antibodies against the foreign type of red blood cells. So it would have antibodies against B antigen. So, in the plasma, so here we have the plasma. And in the plasma, we would have antibodies anti-B. And NB is vice versa. We would have antibodies against, so anti-A. So what would happen if someone with blood type A donates blood to someone with blood type B? When those red blood cells go inside that bloodstream, the antibodies in the plasma will directly go to those antigens, attach to them, and they would initiate to kill these cells, and there would be hypercoagulability. It can be fatal. That's what happens. So, what about AB? Someone with this type of blood, since they already have both antigens on the red blood cells, their body is familiar with both antigens. Therefore, there is no need for any antibodies in the plasma. So the plasma doesn't have antibodies for neither A nor B. And in O is quite the opposite. In O, the red blood cells doesn't have antigens on the red blood cell for A or B. And so the plasma would have antibodies against both of them, because to that kind of blood, those antigens are very foreign. It doesn't know them. It's not familiar with them because they are not on its own red blood cells. So in the plasma there's antibodies for anti-A and anti-B. And that's why we have a scheme that looks like this. So we put all the different blood types together. We can see that someone with blood type O is actually able to donate blood to everyone else, disregardless of their blood type, because those red blood cells, they don't have antigens at all. So it doesn't matter in what type of plasma they go, because the antibodies are not going to recognize any type of antigens, and those red blood cells will do fine. So O can donate blood to anyone. Alright. A can donate to AB because it has antigens A, and AB has antigen A. B can donate to AB as well because it already has antigen B, so the body is also familiar with that one. Now we can see all the arrows are pointing towards AB, and they are all coming from O upwards. So we call O the universal donor because he or she can donate blood to anyone. So it's called universal donor. And AB is called universal recipient. Universal recipient because he or she can receive blood from anyone. Since there is no antibodies at all in the plasma, so whatever kind of blood cells that will go there will not find any defense, if we say so, and they will do fine as well. So this is the scheme for the blood types regarding donation. I hope it was easy and clear. Next time we are going to talk about another type of antigen that's presented on the red blood cells, which is called the rhesus factor or antigen D. Until then, I thank you for watching and see you.